Giving it all we got, giving it all we can, giving it all we got. Oh, climbing up to the top of the world, no fear, we're gonna make it. Everything we want is ours. Whoa.
Hey guys, how you doing? How you doing? Uncle Craig here out on the Bonnog. In today's video, I am going to fend for myself by collecting some of the edible products I have on my farm, on our farm. We're not really self-sustaining, you know, yet, or probably never will be, because I like to eat meat and I'm not gonna be raising no cows. But I know that, you know, we do have stuff that we do eat from the farm. But today I thought I'd see if I can do it myself. Usually my wife is out, you know, collecting. And then, you know, one or two things maybe will show up on the dinner plate. But I thought I'd see what I could do with my own creativity of sorts. And the first thing I'm gonna do is start here with some of my lovely string beans. I just got a regular old bucket. And I'll just break off a couple of these. Actually, I'll put that bucket down. But yeah, green beans are very, very easy to grow. Set up the vines. Previous video, I built this thing out for my wife. I built this whole thing for my wife, if y'all remember, if you've watched this video, so she could make this beautiful garden going on here. But where's the garden? Nah. You know, I think she prefers more like the weed garden. So these beans here, this, when it gets this big, it's kind of a little bit old, but you know, it's actually still quite edible and delicious. Probably one of my favorite food items. I remember in the early days when I first came to Thailand, Bangkok, you know, living down there 30 years ago, whatever it was. That was like one of my favorite foods at the stalls, you know, at the side stalls, was what they would do with the long beans. Different kinds of, you know, they put it in everything, but there were some dishes that they would make that were just the long beans and oyster sauce or something. I don't remember. But I do know that it was delicious. And ever since then, I've always liked them. And now, you know, they get mixed in with a lot of different hot peppers and everything. Speaking of which, I should probably get some hot peppers. Yeah. Oh. I like vine plants because you don't have to like dig them up, you know. What we also have here are these gourds. It's actually from the cucumber kind of family, but these are called snake gourds. Snake gourds because they actually because they curl up like this. Actually, this is probably a good size, you know, in age, in terms of its age. These are a little bit older, but I can probably do something with that. And when they get really older, when they get too ripe, I suppose, they start to turn a little bit more orange or red, and then they're super bitter. So probably not the best tasty thing. Oh man, these are giant up here. And they're kind of heavy, so I'm gonna take them down anyway. You could still eat it, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. You could still eat it. And they do sell them actually this size in the market. I see them in the market this size. Some people like bitter, but these are actually probably one of the more powerful kind of vegetables, or actually fruit as it's known, in your garden. If you have these, you know, you can look up snake gourd benefits, and you'll see all the stuff. You know, flushes your kidneys. It's also a laxative if you cook it right, I suppose, like any vegetable is high in fiber. But everything from your respiratory to you know, vision and everything else, man. But the little ones like this are actually quite tasty. Oh God, it even smells good like that. And I have well, okra here, but I don't think that's quite, it might be. I think it's floured already, so then it's got the flour and the fruit, so I think that okra might be ready, but I don't know, man. I don't know my okra, so I think I'll leave the okra for another time. My wife did have a whole bunch of cilantro and dill growing over here, which is kind of still there, but it's full of weeds now and it's already overgrown. So, but there is still some thing that is doable, so I will pick some of that up and see if I can't very well. I'll piece it apart later as I prepare what I'm gonna eat, because I do like it. I like it a lot. And the dill over here, by the way, there's nothing like this smell of cilantro, or pachi as the Thai name. But yeah, man, delicious. And the dill, of course, is also overgrown, but here, let me put this in this hand. We'll find some of the younger ones. Yeah, I can smell the dill as well. It's just a potent smell, you know. Dill is kind of like a cilantro. I mean, when you hear the word dill, you think, oh yeah, you know, dill pickles, or you use it for pickling and stuff like that. But you don't have to. It can be used straight up, as just like you would with cilantro or whatever. It's good stuff, man. It was perfect weather earlier this morning. I was doing some stuff, cleaning up my shop and that, but now it's starting to heat up. So I thought, well, you know what, before it heats up too much, let me get out there in the garden and see if I can scrape up some foods. And I saw these yesterday. That's what kind of got me motivated to do something, which were these big old peppers, man. These are I think these are fine. I can pull off some of these. There were some red ones here, but oh, here's a bigger one on the ground. These big old peppers, I can you know, I can roast them, right? Roast them a little bit, you know, on the barbecue. Cut them open, and you know, just eat them like that. Or otherwise, you can actually, if you cut the end at an angle, you know, cook up some minced pork or something like that. You can put it in there, or you can put the minced pork in there before you roast it, and then just cook it all together, and that'll be pretty tasty. So I'll see what I can do with these. these papaya trees that my wife planted. And not too long ago, but I noticed the stalk on that thing, man, that's like 5 inches round already. And there's already a crap load of papaya gonna be on there. These are those, I think she purposely bought the short version. You know, they don't grow tall. So they don't grow tall and they'll produce a whole lot of fruits. So that'd be pretty cool. But I'm just looking around while I'm walking. Well, that's right. I wonder if those bananas are ready over here. I did notice that my water, that you know, I don't know what we call them, lilies or something, these side flowers that I always talk about. There's at least 3 or 4 new ones on each one of those. Like, so it's starting to spread. Like I said, you know, it's almost invasive to a point, but you know, I'll correct that if it gets out of hand. No, my bananas, not yet. I still got it supported over here. You know, it's falling down from the weather. And mangoes, I see a few on the ground, but I think they're all done falling and done growing. So it might be out of mangoes. Oh, watch your step, Craig. Oh, there's a couple up there. I might be able to get some mangoes. Those are good sweet ones too. So this variety, we have several variety on the farm, but you know. So now let me see, I'll go over to the go on the back side, see if I can find some other stuff. But for now, look at that. Hey, I got a bucket full of stuff, but I think I want another. We used up, we had a lot of squash, and but my wife already pulled up all the squash plants, you know, after she pulled the squash, but there were some we left over here growing. And let's see, it's got flower and stuff, so maybe there's something in here. You gotta look around. That's the thing about squash, it's such a big vine that you know, you want to look around. Oh, here's one. That's like a bell squash or gourd. That'll work. This side of the farm, or the gardens, I suppose, mostly trees, right? Big old fruit trees and all that. Of which, by the way, I think I'll grab a couple of limes, because a couple of limes so that I can, you know, spice it up a little bit. And find some big ones. You know, really, when you're talking about limes, the way I see it, I mean, some of them don't have a lot of juice if you get it too young, you know, but the reality is, dude, you squeeze it enough, you're gonna get lime juice out of there. I'm just looking for ones that are a little bit bigger, or at least have some dimpling, you know, like a little bit of dimples on them. You know, that one's a bit yellow. There's a whole bunch of them that fell on the ground. They get premature ripening. I don't know what it is. I know my wife was out here the other day and pulled off a whole crap load of lemons, or, you know, limes. Give it to her mom or something. And another very good vegetable I guess it's a tree really. My wife, I just see, has butchered this tree down, all the cuttings over there. This is Chaom. I don't know if that's the name of the tree or just the name of the leaf, but this part here, which is the like the end part, you know, the top very young part, that's the part that I like. You take it and you can, you know, I like this is the might have mentioned it before, but yeah, put this in like fried egg, like you make an omelet, and then when you have the scrambled part, you make this. So you can actually just make a flat piece of, you know, fried eggs, scrambled fried egg, like, I don't know what you call that, but anyway, with this in it, that's popular. But, and one thing though you got to watch out for is that this stuff has thorns on it, so you gotta be careful that you're not getting the thorns. It's one of those things where, you know, you like it, but it's got thorns, and so you have to take the good with the bad or whatever, right? Oof, God, that's strong. Big old one in here. It smells great too. These trees and the aroma that they produce from the leaves. You know, you almost want to eat the leaves. We got some. Put these in my pocket. This is the sour sap tree, but they're not quite big. And these banana trees that are growing, these three here, they're like giant banana trees. Clearly it's probably the soil, but those are huge. We do have the guava, which I saw from over there, so maybe guava. That one looks like it hasn't quite, it's got a little bit of, looks like bug mold or some mold, but bugs aren't eating it yet, so that one this one is edible for sure, because I've eaten them this size. Although, like I said in previous video, you know, we let this stuff here, we just let it grow wild. We don't pay no attention to it until we see one or two that we can eat, and then, you know, walking by, we rip it off of there and eat it. It's pretty much the way it is for all the fruit. That one banana forest over there on that side, this morning I counted, there's 5 bunches of bananas growing off of there right now. And yeah, 5 bunches of bananas, and it's going to be one big old banana fest when that starts, because they're all, you know, close to each other in age, and there's that gourd climbing up. Yeah, they're all close to each other in age, so they'll probably all get done. I'll have to do some serious banana picking. I think I have to take the what do you call that, the freezer bags out, so I can start freezing some bananas. And my papaya tree right here, I can see, has plenty of papaya. Delicious. And papaya is probably one of my next favorite fruit. But I like all the fruits here. I don't have any. The dragon fruit is not ripe yet, so I was kind of bummed. But hey, man, that looks like a meal, doesn't it? And we're getting there. I want to get around and see if I can't find a mango or two. Bring this over here. Maybe I should get some bamboo. But anyway, let me see what else I can scrounge up before my battery dies. All right, I'll get back at you. So let me put this together. I gotta get it cleaned up, sorted out, and we'll see what kind of meal I can put together. All right then. I got spider webs in my face. All right, we'll get back at you. All right, well, hey, just a few items scrounged up on the farm. So I'm gonna wash them up and then cook them up, and then hopefully not throw them up. And we'll get back at you with a delicious meal. Well, not bad for a keto lunch. Let's check it out. Boom. You got your green beans mixed in garlic. That's actually an egg with the chalm. I chilled the mango and guava and papaya. And this is also the bell squash and the snake squash. Well, you know, being that's my first time, by the way, it's still hot. I did cut the fruit first, put it in the freezer to chill, because I love to have the fruit chilled. I got a little sugar dip in the middle of it. But yeah, it looks delicious. So I'm gonna go get my wife, see if she'll eat it. Back at you. Well, I think we did pretty good damage. This right here, the squash with that snake gourd, I tell you, that might just be my new favorite food, because that stuff was like, it was like eating baked potatoes or something. It was freaking delicious. But just about the time I was like, oh, we're so full, you know, I realized I forgot my dang barbecue hot peppers. You know, I was in a rush, man. Oh, I also didn't cook the bamboo, because that takes a really long time. But my hot peppers, man, those look pretty tasty. Look at that, just fall off the thing. But what I can do with that is I can just leave them roast a little bit more, and then smash them up when they're cold and make a nice little dip. Well, I'm gonna have to call that a successful event for my first time trying to put it all together by myself. I mean, I don't want to say my wife does all the cooking around here, but my wife does all the cooking around here. Which ain't a whole lot, because we just go over there and somebody else has already cooked it. And for 5 cents or whatever, we get what we need. But it was nice. It gave me a lot of ideas where I can start thinking now that there's a lot of meals I can do. There's a lot of different things I can do with that stuff, especially seeing how I saw how it cooked up. You know, I saw how that squash and all that cooked up, and the little bell squash is really hard, but just like a potato is, you know, you cook it up like you're gonna mash potatoes. So I could probably cook up a whole bunch of squash and mash it like mashed potatoes and eat it like that, almost like sweet potato. Oof. I think I'm hungry again. All right, man, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and keep watching for more delicious factors here on the Bon Dog.